Hey everybody. You might be, for those of you who are curious enough, yes, I am recording this review a little earlier than usually doing it around 9, and I kind of had some extra time on my hands right now, so I thought it would be best if I just sat down and did a little review of the most recent film in the Star Wars franchise, Solo: A Star Wars Story. And this movie, I'm just gonna jump right into it because there's no point in prolonging it. Because for a movie that really has zero reason to exist, it's actually a pretty decent action movie. I mean, it is kind of a good film to watch if you're a huge Harrison Ford fan because the actor playing Han, even though it was rumored that he needed to get acting lessons, Alden Heinrich, or I can't remember his name. It's really hard to pronounce, but I just remember that he has acted in a lot of other movies. So I don't know why the story was floating around that he needed acting lessons for this movie. I mean, maybe he wasn't that good. In this movie, he was actually decent. I mean, you're not gonna find any Oscar-winning performances, but it is kind of nice to see Han at a younger, more optimistic age. Because in the movies, we're so used to him being sort of the roughed up cynic who, you know, he never really had a whole lot go right in his life, and he was always living on the wrong side of the law, and he didn't care. And in this movie, he basically is on the wrong side of the law, but he's a little more fun, he's a little more charismatic, and they do flesh out the questions of how he met Chewie and how they worked off each other. And all in all, it was a very decent movie. Um, I will say this though. I think one of my major criticisms. This is probably going to be under 5 minutes, by the way, because this is there's not much to talk about in this movie, and I know there are probably some YouTubers out there that could go on for a few hours talking about the ins and outs of the movie, but there really isn't much to say. It was a decent film. The acting was pretty good. The actor that played Lando Calrissian, where Alden managed to play Han Solo and make it his own performance. Like he wasn't doing an impression of Harrison Ford. He was just doing a young Han Solo with Danny Glover. He really it seemed like he was doing his own Billy D. Williams impression, which that's not really a bad thing to do because Lando is supposed to be this little smooth talker, I guess. So doing an impression of the guy that played him in the movies in the early to mid '80s, yeah, I can kind of see where you would go with that, but you could have made it you could have tweaked it a little bit so the performance was all his own. And the ending scene where they show a cameo of Darth Maul from episode 1, and yeah, that was a little weird. I'm not really sure why they added him in there because from what we know about Han Solo, he really didn't play a part in this. And so that was kind of pointless fan service, to be honest. And if you're someone who's only seen the Star Wars movies and doesn't follow the spin-off products, you're going to be really confused when you see him show up. In fact, if you haven't seen the first Star Wars episode 1 in a while, you may not even know who the hell he is. And he appears at the very end of the movie on a hologram, so that would be really confusing. Um honestly, honestly, I think another big problem I have with this movie is that it felt like it went on a little too long. I mean, I understand why they had to show the ending of Han playing that game of poker to win the Millennium Falcon because that's so ingrained in the Star Wars lore that Han Solo won the Millennium Falcon in a card game. So yeah, that scene you really can't cut out. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I think I'm gonna have to go over 5 minutes, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but oh well. Um, I also one of the things I love about Han is that he has this very strong, cocky sense of himself. He can be a little egotistical, but he's kind of charming. And I also like how he loses a lot at first, kind of going back to the young, inexperienced rebel. But he does get a little smarter, and he does end up, being a little more intelligent. And he's also a maverick. So I think like all the sides of Han Solo, they got perfect. They got the cocky attitude, the maverick, and the charming Harrison Ford mannerisms that a lot of people have come to know. And I honestly, I will say this that there were rumors a few years ago about them making an Indiana Jones movie with someone else playing Indiana Jones. If they still wanted to do that and they got this actor to play Indy, that would just be like watching Harrison Ford 50 years younger play the role. So I'd be up for that. I know they're making a fifth Indiana Jones movie with Harrison Ford in it, but I'm getting sidetracked. So I think this movie was decently done. I feel like for a Ron Howard film, this was like the most middle of the road project you could get, and I, this movie hasn't been doing all that well. I honestly think it's a solid 3 stars out of 5 movie. It's a very low 3 stars, but it's not worse than decent. It's just a decent movie. And again, for a movie that really had no rational thought or reason for it to be existing, it's a fun ride. It's basically a fun, dumb action movie with some intelligence and wit to it. So yeah, I said I was gonna do this in 5 minutes, and it looks like I'm gonna take about a little over 7. But that's my review, and it's still in theaters, and I would recommend catching it while you still can. Just don't expect the next best thing. Just expect to have a very fun, decent time watching a 2-hour movie that probably went on about 15 minutes too long. See you guys in my Bruce Springsteen cover on Tuesday. This Tuesday, I'll be doing Adam Raised a Cain as my part 2 of Darkness on the Edge of Town month. So be there for it, YouTube.